It is 4 p.m. on a Friday, the 26th of April of 2024, and I'm in sunny Florida. I don't know if that matters. I don't know why I'm being strangely corporate with this. A lot of you have noticed that I haven't been here as often as I usually am. I haven't been posting on any of my social media, and when I do, I kind of disappear again for a long period of time. And some of you have been following me for like the past 10 years of my life, which is insane, and that's very out of character. I kind of always let you guys know what's going on with my life because I didn't want to tell you what's going on, and now I do want to tell you what's going on because it's just, I don't know, I just want to tell you everything. I'm not dying, so I don't want you to worry. I hate when YouTubers make videos and it's like clickbait and they're like emotionally manipulating their audiences into thinking that like something's happening to them, or like, I'm not dying, okay? So I want to get that out of the way. I do not want you to stress out for me. However, I've been going through a lot since September of last year. For the past 7 to 8 months of my life, I have been very sick. And it's strange for me to even say that because I've never had anything majorly wrong with me, with my health in my life. So this kind of really caught me off guard. Everything was fine. I was in my house in America. I woke up one morning and I felt like something that I've never felt before. I felt like my whole body was in pain. Specifically, my stomach felt like it was on fire, and it was kind of spreading out kind of everywhere. You know, it'd come up to like my face, and I felt like it was a level of pain that I'd never really experienced. And this is, like, I don't want to sound dramatic. If all the pain that I've experienced in my life, physically in my body, had been from 0 to 10, this was the first time that I was feeling at a 10. Very much like overnight. I'd never really been to the doctors in America for anything like serious. You know, it'd always been, you know, because I have the flu or something that kind of, you know, it's fixed really easy. I went to the hospital for the first time in America, which was interesting by itself, just different than my experiences at the doctor in Europe. The doctors kind of ran like blood tests on me and a few other things, I think, like urine samples, like you have to pee in a cup to kind of try to understand how I'm feeling this burning sensation that is kind of throughout my whole body, and this level of pain that like I couldn't walk, I couldn't do anything. Everything was fine. Like all my blood tests were fine. They just told me, you're stressed, you're probably just stressed, and they sent me home, which was honestly not a great experience. I'd never had that happen to me, like where there's something wrong with me and the doctor's like not believing me, and I'm like, I felt like I was going crazy. This has never happened to me in my entire life. Whenever I went to a doctor, we just figured out what was wrong. We fixed it. This time around, they definitely didn't fix it. I was in as much pain as before, just now with some strange medication for anxiety. You know, the next day I was this 10 level of pain, still not understanding what was going on. I went to a different doctor. So in America, when you go to the doctor, from my experience, you kind of have to shop around, which is crazy. Like there's no like one doctor that will just fix the problem. You just kind of expect that some of them are not going to fix the problem, and you have to go to a different doctor until maybe someone will figure out what's wrong with you, which I'm sure it also happens in other countries, honestly, but I guess I'm still better because this happened to me here. Eventually I found a doctor, and she told me she thinks I have inflammation going on in my stomach, this whole chest area, all the way going to my throat. I didn't know exactly what it was. I didn't know what it meant, but I was in so much pain, so I just kind of took the diagnosis, which she thought I had this thing called gastritis, which is your stomach is technically on fire, except mine was so exaggerated, so the doctor thought, it kind of spread out. I couldn't eat, so at this point I hadn't been eating for maybe a week. Only the IV stuff that they give you, the only food I'd been given for like a week, maybe 2 weeks at this point. This doctor gave me some medication to control inflammation in my stomach. We were hoping that it was gonna get better. Spoiler alert, it didn't get better. Tried to live my life for the next few weeks. I still didn't know what was wrong with me. I was still at like, some days I'd be down to like a level 9 of pain. Every morning when I would wake up, I honestly felt like I was living a nightmare. I would be crying almost every day and asking like, what have I done to deserve this? And I would be praying. I'm not a very religious person. I'm not a religious person at all. That some doctor was going to be able to figure out what's wrong with me and just make it stop, not just kind of guess. So the doctor kind of told me that I have to be strong. We just have to see if this gets better, because there really isn't much they can do unless they do this thing where they put a camera inside of you and figure out what exactly is going wrong. But this is apparently not something they like to do straight away, even though to me felt like I should do it straight away. I felt like I was dying every day. I kind of just had to like agree with it. So I was taking these pills that are supposed to help you feel better with your stomach. It really wasn't working for me. Eventually I realized I don't think I'm getting the help that I need. I'd been to like 5 doctors at this point here in America, and I honestly thought something very serious was going on with me, because there's no way this amount of pain is not nothing like the doctors kind of think. I saw a couple more doctors and they all told me that I kind of have to wait it out and see what it is, that it seems like I've got inflammation going on. There's no way to actually prove it unless I go under. And they also think that I may be too stressed. They thought it was anxiety. To me, when I have the physical symptoms that I have, like the amount of pain that I'm in, it did not feel like anxiety. Honestly, it felt like somebody had covered me in like gasoline and lit up a match, and I'd been burning for literally months. Like my whole body, everything hurt. So I'm taking these pills. It's not really helping. I do feel like my level of pain at this point, like a few months in, it was like maybe an 8 sometimes, which was better than a 10, but this is not ideal. I cannot eat. I didn't want to film a video because I was so scared you guys are gonna watch it and be like, what is going on with him? Like, there's something wrong with him, because I looked sick. I looked very, very sick. And also, because I was in so much pain, I didn't want to switch on the camera and come and talk to you guys and pretend like everything's fine, because it wasn't fine. Eventually, I decided to go to Europe because, you know, the doctors that I used to see regularly in England, I'd never had an issue with. Whenever there was something wrong with me, they just fix it. And I was like, maybe I need to go somewhere else to get it fixed. So in the end, I visited 3 countries. This is ridiculous. To try to find out what's wrong with me. That's how desperate I was. That's in how much pain I was. And traveling with this was not easy, because traveling when you feel sick and you don't know exactly what's wrong with you, incredibly difficult. So eventually a doctor agreed to do this exam where they put a camera inside of you or something. Like, you literally have to go under. It's quite an intense thing. I think it's been like 3 months now of pain. I have no other option. Like, I honestly don't know what's wrong with me. My blood tests are fine. I can't live my life. I can't sleep unless I'm medicated. I would wake up at night like screaming. That's how insane this whole thing had taken over my entire life. Obviously, throughout all of this, I wasn't filming. I wasn't telling you guys anything because I was hoping that this is gonna get fixed, you know? So I did the exam, and they found that I did have this thing they call chronic inflammation going on inside of my stomach, but also in other parts, like all the way up here. I don't know what the technical names for this is, but you know, your stomach is connected to your mouth. I kind of had like something going on here. I was relieved in a way, because I'm like, okay, we figured out what's wrong with me. Now we need to figure out what's causing it. What is causing this, you know? Like, wow, I was perfectly fine. I never had any health problems my entire life, and then one morning I wake up and this. I went to see the doctor. I took my exams with me that I received on my email, and I was like, okay, this is over, right? Like, this has to be over now. Like, I'm gonna take some medication and this is gonna be fine. It was good and bad news, because good because we understood what was going on. Bad news because the doctor didn't know exactly what caused it. Or he did know, but it didn't make sense to me. Because there was nothing wrong with me, I didn't have like serious like cancer going on. From talking to me and kind of knowing my life and what I do for a living and where I've been, he came to the conclusion that this was all caused by an insane amount of stress. That this was caused by like an amount of anxiety that is not normal. He compared it to when people go through like a serious traumatic event. Sometimes this happens to them. It triggers something in your body, and it literally causes your body to shut down. Like, the things that usually function stop functioning. Which he also told me that explained why whenever I took any anxiety medication to help me sleep, these were the only times where I could kind of forget that this was going on and that I could kind of feel normal. Because of that, there isn't something that I could take. I had to give it time and find coping mechanisms and kind of understand, why am I so stressed? I think this was around January that we came to this conclusion. So it's April now. So for the past months, I've been on a healing journey. This sounds so I would roll my eyes if somebody told me this story. I'd done every possible blood test there is in the world. I'd gone into this machine that is like a giant tube where they scan your whole body because I was so convinced, like my level of pain was so high. I was crying every morning when I woke up, and I was crying all the way to like going to bed. The only thing that really made sense was I was under so much stress that my brain literally caused these physical symptoms. So I had to figure out what was going on in my life that was causing this amount of stress. And I know that I am very stressed with my job. This is like the thing that stresses me out the most. I create such a pressure to myself in not wanting to disappoint you guys, in wanting to be like this perfect content creator who's always happy, who's always able to deliver new things, to do a bigger thing than the previous thing, who's able to show up regularly, pour my soul and my happiness and every ounce of positivity that I have inside of me into you guys to make your life better. This is what I know is my life purpose and mission. Like it feels right when I do these things, when I'm creating things and I know that I'm bringing joy to people. It sounds cheesy, but I just know it in my heart. It's like, it makes so much sense to me. When you know that this is what you're supposed to do, you want to do it all the time. You want to do it better every single time. And these thoughts create such a pressure to yourself because you don't have the freedom to just relax and see how things go, because you have to do this, you have to do it today and tomorrow and the day after, and then you have to reinvent yourself and come up with something else. And this is like, I think this pressure, I honestly think this made me physically sick. I think my body said, you cannot do this for another 10 years. You have to reframe the way you do this and do it without the pressure. Also, I was in so much pain that I didn't want to film, but I knew that I have to take a step back. I'm sweating just from telling this story. I knew I had to take a step back. I knew that I had to rewire my brain. And I knew I had to measure what I'm giving to my career and find balance and do things that are enjoyable. Take breaks, go on holidays, not always be working on the next video and the next video and the next video, So that's been the journey that I've been going on since January, since I kind of figured out what's wrong with me until now, which is why you haven't seen me a lot this year. I hope you don't take this out of context, but I had to put me first, my well-being, and then worry about videos and entertaining you guys and bringing you the best, happiest version of myself only when that's available. This has been the hardest thing I've ever gone through in my entire life. I don't even have a close second. When I think about the hardest thing that I've ever gone through from the day that I was born up to now, it has been this. These past 7 months have been hell. And only for like the past 2 months that I wake up and I feel like myself again. It's not perfect, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think it will be perfect for another year. But I think I've been doing a lot of work, going outside, working out more, eating healthy. But mostly, the thing that has made the most difference has been rewiring my brain, how I think about my job, and removing the stressful elements of it and finding only the joy part of it, which has resulted in me posting less videos. I wake up and most days I'm at a 0 level of pain. Some days I still don't feel great. I feel like there's something that's still not quite right physically. I have been filming a lot. I filmed a lot of videos over the past couple of weeks with no pressure. I filmed them. I'm going to edit them with time. I don't feel like I'm running a marathon, which is what I've always felt. My family has been very supportive. Like my parents had to look after Salem a lot of times throughout all of this because I was physically unwell. When you're so sick that you can't get out of bed, you really find out who are like the most important people in your life, who's really there to help you. One of the things that was giving me a lot of anxiety for the past few months has been because I wasn't checking in on you guys so much or letting you know what was going on. I was scared that you guys might have thought that I kind of left you, that I prioritized something else in my life, that I'm working on some other projects that are not on my YouTube channel, because when I was a kid, I used to watch YouTube endlessly. Like I can name you all my favorite YouTubers, like Fred, the Shaytards, Bethany Moda, all these OG YouTubers. That's what I wanted to be when I grow up. And then I grew up. Actually, before I even grew up, this kind of has happened to me. Your biggest dream becomes reality. You guys thinking that maybe I was over it. That was really difficult for me, because I want you guys to know that this, my YouTube channel, will always be my priority. I have seen this happen a million times. You know, people get 1 million subscribers and then they move on to different things. They write a book, get their own TV show. That's never gonna happen. I can honestly sit here and promise you that that's never going to happen, because my dream is this. This part here, like this that we have, this is my dream. Making my next video, coming up with my next stupid, silly idea. This is what I've always wanted. And I try to never lose track of that. I hope you're not disappointed with me. I hope you're not mad that I've kind of been gone for the past couple months. It's going to change now. If 100% is me and my best being completely healthy, I feel like I'm at an 80%, which to me, this is the best I've ever felt in like 7 months. Even when I wasn't here for the past couple months, I thought of you every single day and dreaming of a day when I'm gonna feel better and being able to do this again. Maybe I'll do this more often, you know? Give you like little updates on what's going on, especially now. Kind of like therapy, but not. I love you, and I will see you guys on my next video. Bye bye.